But we're now on a Sunday night. Oh god. The final, you could say the final week of December. The final week of December, and we have 3 games we need to basically finish in this week. But we have a couple of things working towards our advantage. We have some holiday stuff coming up here. It's Christmas Eve. I get off kind of early, but I don't know what's happening. Well, no, Christmas Eve I know. I know I'm not going anywhere on Christmas Eve, but I do work like half a day. And then Christmas Day I'm doing something, but I should, in theory, be back for a Christmas night stream. But then I'm back to work the next day, because that's Friday. But then we have a weekend, and a weekend, not this weekend, obviously, I was busy this weekend doing things. But next weekend, I should, if we're like, it will be like official cleanup weekend. We're probably gonna, because I would assume, like this, including this stream, I think we're like 2 or 3 streams away from finishing Process of Elimination is my best guess. Because I feel like we're almost done with the current chapter we're on. And then one more chapter, and it's got like probably like 2 or 3 streams left in it, right? Demon School is probably the thing we have the most to do in. I don't know how it, maybe we have like 3 or 4 more streams of that. Unbeatable, we're half of the chapters of the way through. But those are the 3 things that massively gonna hit on this week. We'll probably get to Demon School tomorrow night. Get another maybe weekend on that. Tonight we might actually play Process of Elimination. Probably because I'm kind of want a little bit of variety tonight. I might finish this chapter we're on, and then try to do like another bit in Unbeatable. But we'll see. Maybe we'll finish this chapter, play a little more into the final chapter, and then switch to Unbeatable. It's kind of how I figured. And I think we're kind of running up to the investigation in this, because we had, at the very end of the last time we played Process of Elimination, we had the reveal of Renegade, seemingly, though it might be a false death, it might be a red herring. There was a couple phrases or stuff that were like, oh, the head smashed or whatever. We can't really tell. I mean, like I could see Renegade not actually dying, and it's some like body double or situation or something like that, because he seems like such an important character. I don't know. I'm very curious what we'll reveal here, but maybe this second to last chapter, maybe it is time for Renegade and Workaholic / Diabolic to be done with. And then we move on from there, from them too. But a double murder. Very curious to see how this is. My guess I'm sticking with is assuming both of them are actually dead, both Renegade and Workaholic, is that they both tried to kill each other. That is my official guess. I think I hinted towards that. The last stream. That was my opinion. That was my idea. So yeah, here we go. Incompetent. I can do this. I have to. I assume we're going to get right into the investigation. I think I stopped it probably right before. You can kind of see how they kind of like build towards it. I speak aloud, trying to encourage myself. Ideal Detective isn't here, making this my first time taking charge all on my own. Oh yeah, she's been in and out too. I'm nervous, but it's something I must do. Alright everyone, we could just head to the surface and call for help, leaving all of this behind. But we're detectives. Whenever a case presents itself, our only option is to investigate it. A tragedy has occurred right before our eyes. It's up to us to reverse it. Everything about these 2 deaths is bizarre. Our investigation begins as we strive to detangle this mystery. Is my phone on mute? Yeah, here we go. We're in the investigation. Here we go. We're right in it. 9 hours remain. And we only have 6 people to intervene with. Also, the one thing, just the one thing, really just the one thing that I really like, at least how they built this game, is like during the investigation parts is early on, like a traded Pokemon back in the day when it was too high of a level and you didn't have the right badges, and you'd have Pokemon that would disobey you. Like early on, there was those detectives, like Posh and everything, that wouldn't want to be intervened with, and they were, you know, obnoxious about it. I do like how investigations have gone on, that they are always like, probably also to eliminate some annoyance, but also like it narratively makes sense that they're more and more behind me, like assisting them, because the trust is there and all that. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. All right, now my hope is that I can win this on our first attempt, right? I don't know what all these 4s are for. That's scary to me. I'm gonna be honest. But we would just have to send in someone with an inference that's high enough, right? Gourmet or Bookworm, and they can clear this area. So I'm not too pressed about that. Your inspect is 2. Great. Let's get this part over with. Does this photo belong to Posh? Photo of happy employees. Alright, let's get this little moment here. After dinner, in my infinite wisdom, I reflect upon the day's events and chart our next course, as one would expect from a chief detective. It has been an entire 24 hours since our imprisonment within this manor, a rather precarious situation to say the least. Although we have access to ample provisions, morale will inevitably crumble in due time. Those with such temperaments as Rowdy's, blunt with a strong sense of justice, could run amok at any moment. I must keep them in check. Though I feel ideal, Detective, that is, Holmes would have done a finer job of doing so. I recall the face of my eternal competitor. Ultimately, I was never able to best her. A knock sounds out at the door, breaking me out of my reverie. Kind of a shame that it ends up being just like one, I think, residual thought thing that I missed because I didn't get a good enough score thing. I think I had said before that when we see like the New Game Plus scenes, when I talked about that, like after we finish this, like if I could find a video easily, then I'd love to do that, but I'm either gonna forget or think it's too much work to find, but we'll see. It wouldn't be too hard to find, I just have to do it. That's fine. Okay, keeping my guard up, I open the door to see Workaholic. In his hands, he holds a teapot that I remember spotting in the dining room. I saw on the security camera that you were still up. If there's something on your mind, would you like to discuss it over tea? What a gentleman. My, aren't you a perceptive one? For a commoner, I shall humbly accept your offer. Black tea is mental fuel for the noblewoman, after all. Workaholic beckons me to sit on the bed before pouring some into cups on the desk. After adding in my preferred amount of sugar, he proffers the drink to me with meticulously practiced ease. The full-bodied aroma wafting from the cup soothes my weary mind. Gotta waft it. From the looks of it, you've been overworking yourself since yesterday. Are you doing alright? Overworking myself? Preposterous. I'll thank you to not think so little of the aristocracy. No need to put on a strong front. Weren't you and the chief on close terms? She'd always go on about how you were going to blossom one day. Holmes said that about me? And in spite of her constant mockery too, to think she would leave such a sentiment behind upon meeting her demise, the yellow-bellied coward. I nearly speak my vitriol aloud before I realize the words will not reach her, quietly swallowing my vexation. I'm well aware of your circumstances, all the pressure you're under to rebuild your family's standing. Only you would continue to use your legal name in spite of the risks, Ariel Allen Pinkerton. Find your commitment impressive, actually. This game really makes a point out of giving the usually hidden names of these people during these residual thoughts. It's an interesting little touch. Having said that, it's also cause for concern. I fear you'll grind yourself down to nothing, the way our old chief did when she died defending us. He has me pegged. I feel my voice hitch in my throat. However, proper chief cannot allow such commentary to faze them. Thus, I maintain a cool demeanor and give my reply. Bear in mind, I am of society's upper crust. Thus, it is my duty to suffer on behalf of the common people. As acting chief, I have an obligation to protect those around me, for Holmes' sake as well, so please do not trouble yourself over this. Got it. You're right. If things were that simple, you wouldn't be struggling like this. I just hope the day comes when you let yourself cooperate with those around you, rather than trying to shoulder everything on your own. It's too late for some folks, like me and the old chief. With that, Workaholic excuses himself. Left in my own company, I begin to ruminate upon his words. It was too late for Holmes and Workaholic, was it? Well, bah to that, bah to that. It's like when Gordon Ramsay tastes something frozen. Bah! I refuse to change either. Since my birth, no other soul has tried in earnest to restore the Pinkerton name. Far from assisting my endeavors, many have taken a mockery instead. But trials by fire are all that I know, and I am of no mind to alter my methods. Holmes-san, 安心してくださいまし。私がこの命に変えても、あなたの仇を取り、皆さんを無事に家へ返してみせますわ。Rest assured, Holmes. Even if it should claim my life, I shall oust your killer and see this group home safely. Well aware that she cannot hear me, I have voiced this proclamation to my lifelong rival nonetheless. God, there was only like one residual thought that was like a lot longer. It was like the one with like doleful or whatever. Don't go to that one. Okay, so I think Gourmet needs to start walking and just like clear this area just in case. And she also has high inference, so she'll be able to unlock that. But she can also, in theory, unlock this one while we're going as well. Oh, so we're gonna have to click this one. By herself. So the culprit overloaded the breakers, causing a blackout without touching the distribution board. They must use AC to pull it off, but how? Evidence acquired. Oh, we created a thing, okay. Okay. What is your inspection is 2?
何かご用ですの?
But you can move.
ピンカートン家の報告は私が見つけて差し上
Get
げ
that.
ますわ。
Why, if it isn't a rubber wristband for guests who dropped it here, we need to return it from whence it came. Oh yeah, I remember the rubber wristbands. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
どうしたの?
What's your inspection 5? 2, 3, 4. Oh, you'll have to go in then.
どうしたの? 僕にはこれしか脳がないんだ。
Huh? There's something on the floor. It's the remote for the AC. What's it doing here? Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. I love this music sometimes. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, there's a thing in there. I know that's what she wants to go do. What do you want to go do? Go. You should probably go try to. Can you touch
僕に
that?
ご用ですか?
I don't think you can, and your inspection kind of sucks.
どうされましたか?
Let's analyze the remote.
どんな証拠品だって調べ尽くします。
Boing.
科学的に考えましょう。
My analysis shows that the temperature and speed were at max, and the timer was set to just before the crime. This was the culprit's doing, no doubt. Ka-chink. Nice. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now, I wonder if we're gonna get attacked. Seemingly, there isn't that problem. Redacted documents. Upon rereading, I noticed a passage on the manor. It was designed by an architect named Maicho Aragi, known for his poor taste, the girl said factually. We got a keyword out of it. Okay, I think that's everyone. Ugh! Why did it show me these? Bum, 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 bum. These are just traps though, right? These aren't gonna be like moving things, are they? I don't need moving things. What's your inspect 3? Huh. I don't know much about these gadgets, but I do know this is a broken USB stick, the girl said, demonstrating her comprehensive knowledge. Shattered USB. Shattered USB.
僕にご用ですか? 僕が解決しましょう。肉体労働は苦手。これは
A bloodstain. But whose blood is it? I need to analyze this quick. Bloodstain in shower. Like, I would very much, if this ends up being an easy one, I'd be very happy. I'd be totally fine with that. All things, I could really use an easy one of these. Like I said, I think I need to start moving Gourmet downwards. But I could just full move. So that should clear it. Next turn. What if I reveal that these were robots and then it just gets attacked and we die? Oh god, restart. Alright, where are you heading? Okay. Maybe try assist once that unlocks, but we don't know. Probably analyzing something would unlock it.
どうしたの?
Three. Oh, some things that only probably techie. It's gonna be able to get. Oh, I'll get this wristband, please. This wristband is phosphorescent, like that paint. If this was on Workaholic's wrist, you could delay his electrocution and see him during the blackout. There we go. We unlocked it. Look at that. Oh, she also has a 5 analyzation. Her inference is 2. Assistance 6. So with assistance, you'd get 8.
どうしたの？
So I don't think she should be doing it until he has assistance anyway, because there's no point the math-wise. So I think if she wants to move here, that's fine. But then she should analyze. Yeah, I forgot her analyzation was so high. USB drive.
なんて地味な作業。
Boom.
これがピンカートン家の実力ですわ。
As I thought, the data stored on here is yet intact, meaning we can still make use of it. My noble abstemiousness has carried us to victory. Holy shit. According to text analysis, there's a special method for triggering the caller recorded on there, correct? Great. That means Doleful is left. Doleful also has a 4 inference and can clear these. I'll start clearing these with him though. Eek! This info hasn't been locked yet, right? I gotta tell everyone quick. Boop. That's everyone then. I think we'll be fine.
僕にご用ですか？どうされましたか？
Bloodstain in shower.
何か妙ですね。
Sniffy Whiffy says this is Workaholic's blood, which means he was wounded prior to his being electrocuted and has to wash the blood off. If that's the case, the one who injured him must have been Renegade Detective, right? Oh. 20. Renegade's corpse. Okay. I have to move into next to it, right? And then infer it away. This bomb shouldn't be too much of a hassle as long as we pay attention. Time to put this naughty bear back in its toy box. Good job. Good job. Oh, she's so close. Oh, now she's going. Okay.
僕でよければ。頑張るよ。僕なんかでよければ一緒に。
Boost. There we fucking go. I gotta get this one. Those two next turn. Do I... Is there some combination with these? 4 and 4. 4 and 6. So 10 is oh so close to 11. What a fucking shame. What a fucking shame. What a fucking shame. It's fine. Like, if I did the math right, I think that's Doble will be able to get that there. I'm gonna basically try to have my cake and eat it too here type moment. And her inspect is 3. Definitely not as high. But I'll get those and then they'll converge on that one spot. I don't think this is actually going to be... Unless they do some weird twist on us, I think we're going to be pretty fine. The burns on Workaholic's skin prove that he was electrocuted through the cuffs, though the shock could have been prevented were his wrist covered. That's it. That's how the culprit timed the electrocution. Huh? Oh, I see. Yes, it is only natural that an aristocrat my caliber would figure it out. In fact, it is all rather simple. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Evidence acquired of Workaholic's body. Workaholic's body. Yeah, analyze Workaholic's body. No, we don't. Great, great, great. Well, now what do we do with you, sir? Eek! Again! His info hasn't been logged. How very intriguing, mused the girl, imitating the genius physics professor of a certain TV show. Got those. Very good. Do I care to disable these things? Like, or should I just have her start working? You know what I mean? Do I need to clear them? I think I'll just start working on it. She can clear that up, you know, later if need be. That's fine. Gotta pick up these spots. Spots. I should report this data to everyone else, right? Or maybe not. No, better safe than sorry if I'm unsure. Shrink. Okay, great. Slowly making their way. Sucks. I don't think there's anything to analyze. Oh, I should have. I mean, if he can't reach, I should do full move turns if they're not going to be doing anything else either. Your inference is 4 and assistance is 4. Your assistance is 4, inference 6. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm gonna do one off. I'm almost to the point where I feel like should I move her with them to then assist next turn, or is it better to... I kind of bungled this. I mean, not to a devastating manner, but I probably should have committed to one of these first, so that the next turn, whatever we get from this, if we need to analyze it, then we can with one of these guys. Nah, whatever. And now this is a juicy bit of intel. Let me share it on my D-pad. Whoop. 4 hours remain. Okay, so I'm gonna assist. They will be one short. Unfortunately. But it's okay. You can inspect.
先生曰く調査こそ
You can
探偵の
inspect.
基本
Oh, well done, Self. As always, I've come across some vital
広
information.
い視野を持って対応し
This
な
is
いと
new
ね
information I've got to share with everyone. Bam. Okay. How much is left on it? 14. Inference 6. So she'll be too short. But if his assistance is at least...
さあ実験を始めましょ
Yeah,
うか
next turn, he can help. Wait, no, he's walking through the... Is he gonna... Oh. I thought there was, like, chance that he would get fucked. Oh, God.
お姉さんに何かご用？
I was so afraid.
お姉さんに何かご用？
I thought the game was gonna screw me there somehow.
ディナーの前に解いちゃいましょう。
I really thought the game was gonna just absolutely roast me.
少女は黙したまま。さあ、次の謎を探しましょう。
It's clear that every computer in this room was forcibly cut off from the power supply. That means all of them were on when the blackout occurred, Girl said, presenting a fact that was clearly pertinent to the case. Evidence acquired PC. Now, is it analyzable? No. Great. Everything is fine. I assume this is going to be the last.
さあ実験を始めましょう科学の力でお助けします
Renegade has no wounds that suggest an assault. His neck was abruptly severed. An instant kill. How'd they do that with a loose cannon like him? Investigation completed. I'm gonna just, for the sake of completion, I'm gonna take the extra turn.
何か用かな？
To clear those spots, just in case. Where are they going?
どうしたの？どうしたの？これが答え。甘味甘食雨あられ。甘味甘食雨あられ。
Trying to fucking click on the spot. Where is my cursor?
もう謎はお腹いっぱいよ。
Bam! Bomb shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Boop, boop, boop. I disarmed the bomb just like Techie taught me to. Everything should be fine now. Good job, squad. Alright, is that all the spots too? Everything great? Everything covered? Great. I love an easy one. We take that. 7 keywords that we picked up. Save? Yeah. Alright, am I going to be able to answer all these questions correct is the question. I bet not. I bet I fuck up somehow. Don't worry about it. We reconvene on the ground floor lobby after completing our investigation.
こうしてようやく地上へ上がれたわけですけど結局救助を呼ぶことは叶わないのですから意味がありませんわね
At long last, we've made it to the surface, though it's a hollow victory so long as we're unable to make a distress call.
でも地上に上がってさえいれば救助船が近づいた際に通信可能だと思います
Still, at least we're above ground now. If a rescue ship appears, we should be able to signal it.
1週間以上も連絡が絶たれているのですからいつ救助が来てもおかしくありません地上に上がれたのはいいことですよ
We've been cut off from communication for over a week, so help should arrive at any moment. It's good that we're back up here.
ただ、そうなると問題になるのは社畜さんたちが亡くなった事件を解決できていないことだね。
There's just one problem. We still don't know how Workaholic Renegade Detective died.
もし万が一僕たちの中に犯人がいたら大変だ。 救助が来るまでに真相を解き明かそう。
It would be a major problem if the culprit is in fact one of us. We need to find the truth before help arrives. I just don't think anyone in the current group is responsible. You know what I mean?
そうだね。
Like, our numbers are quite dwindled at this point already.
今回の事件を一つ一つ整理していこうか。
That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it. Yeah, you're right. Let's start by getting the facts of this case in order.
一番の謎はやっぱり
Like, who would it be of our group? The only one.
ということかしら。
I was gonna say, maybe it's Posh, but I would think, if anyone, it's Techie. Just because we had that moment with Techie, that would kind of make sense to me. Suppose the greatest mystery is, who was it that triggered Renegade's collar?
確か下道ちゃんの首輪の起爆には彼の探偵デバイスに3人以上からコマンドが必要なのよね。1人は社畜ちゃんとして残り2人は誰だったのかしら。
It required 3 D-pads to send a command to his, correct? If Workaholic was one, who were the other two?
下道探偵への殺意を胸に秘めていた人を仮にユダと呼ぶことにしましょう。
Let's refer to whomever secretly harbors these murderous thoughts toward Renegade Detective as Judases for now.
起爆に必要なコマンドは3人分。社畜探偵は確実にコマンドを発信していたとして残りは2人分。
To reiterate, the detonation necessitates 3 commands. If Workaholic sent 1, we are left with 2.
社畜探偵以外にも2人のユダがいたということになりますね。と少女はあまり考えたくない可能性に言及した。
Meaning there are 2 Judases apart from Workaholic, the girl said, hinting at a possibility she preferred not to consider.
大丈夫だよ、文学さん。僕も最初はユダの存在を疑った。でも捜査を進めてみて、それが間違いだって気づいたんだ。
It's okay, Bookworm. I suspected that there were Judases among us too at first, but as I investigated, I realized I was wrong.
僕らの中にはコマンドを発信した人はいない。ゲドは犯人の策略にはめられて首輪の隠された起爆条件を満たしてしまったんだよ。
No one here could have sent a command. Renegade fell for the culprit's scheme, fulfilling the secret conditions to trigger his collar.
隠された起爆条件、コマンドを発信する以外にどんな方法があったというの？
Secret conditions? What else was there besides sending those command words? The rules were hidden on that broken USB. One of us should be able to explain it. To Techie.
科学君、君ならそのルールを
What's that,
説明できるよね。
Techie, you can explain it, right?
はい。施設内に落ちていた USB メモリの中に研究室の PC から持ち出された首輪の資料が入っていたんです。
Yes, that USB was found dropped in the facility. It contained the files that were taken from that PC in the lab, the ones regarding the collars.
おそらく踏み砕いた人は USB メモリを処分できたと思ったんでしょうね。記録領域自体は意外と小さいから粉々に砕けた後でもデータは無事だったんです。
Whoever smashed the USB hoped to destroy it, but its actual storage space is so tiny that the data was still intact after the fact.
芸道探偵の首輪にはどんなルールがあったと言いますの？そのルールを生かすことで犯人は芸道探偵を殺したんですわよね。
Just what sort of guidelines does Renegade's collar have? Culprit used them to kill the man himself, did they not?
はい。ルールを理解していた犯人はゲド探偵が取るであろう行動を予想していたんだと思います。
Yes, Culprit understood these rules and predicted what steps Renegade would take.
ゲド探偵を殺すためなら文字通り命を賭する覚悟があったんだ。
In order to kill Renegade, they were prepared to put their own life at stake, literally.
まさかその人って。
What? You couldn't possibly mean... Workaholic then. Bloom.
ゲド探偵を殺したのは社畜さんです。彼はこの事件において被害者であると同時に加害者でもあったんですよ。
Renegade Detective's killer was Workaholic. He's both a victim and a culprit in this case.
彼は死ぬ間際にルールを生かしてゲド探偵の首輪を起爆したんです。
He leveraged the rules by dying to detonate Renegade Detective's collar.
もったいぶるんじゃありませんわ。そのルールって何なんですの？
Bah, enough with this putting on airs. What precisely are these rules?
それは監視者に設定された探偵が下道探偵の所有する探偵デバイスから半径10メートル以内で死ぬとコマンドが発信されることです。
If a detective designated as an observer died within a 10-meter radius of Renegade's D-pad, that would also trigger a command message. If a detective designated as an observer died within a 10-meter radius of Renegade's D-pad.
この監視者に設定された人には心臓の鼓動と連動するチップが埋め込まれていて、心肺停止状態に陥ると自動でコマンドが発信されるようです。
Observers have a chip implant that connects to their heartbeat. An automatic command is sent if they go into cardiopulmonary arrest.
なんて恐ろしい話ですの？そもそも監視者とは一体？
How positively ghastly. Just what are these observers anyway?
それは分かりません。ですが、誰がその監視者であったかは状況から察することはできます。
I couldn't answer that, but I can speculate who they are based on all that's happened so far.
まず社畜さん、この事件の渦中の人物だから間違いありません。
First, there's...
これも社畜さんの今までの行動からまず間違いないでしょう。
First, there's Workaholic. There's no doubt he's at the center of all this. Then there's me. Workaholic made that perfectly clear.
では、あなたの体内にもチップとやらが？
You mean to say there's some manner of chip inside you?
おそらく僕はこの島で目覚めるまで数日間意識を失っていたから、その時に埋め込まれていたのかもしれません。
Yeah, I think. I was unconscious for a few days before waking up on the island. It could have been implanted then.
もしくは社畜さんが知っていたことを考えると、10年前の監禁事件の際に埋め込まれていたかですね。
Or actually,
僕は
Workaholic...
境遇ですし、
Nope.
おかしな話じゃないかと思います。
Actually, Workaholic knew, so it might have been implanted while I was captive 10 years ago, after all the third person went through the same ordeal.
それじゃあ残りの一人って？
Oh, which means the third observer is...
理想探偵だよ。彼女は僕が初対面の下道探偵に襲われた時に首輪の起爆を脅しの材料に使っていたからね。
Yes, ideal detective. She threatened to detonate Renegade Detective's collar when he attacked me the first time we met.
理想探偵が死んだ際、おそらく下道探偵は10メートル以内にいた。だから一人分のコマンドがすでに発信されていたんだ。
He was likely within 10 meters of where Ideal Detective was killed, so one command has already been triggered.
つまり下道探偵は残り2人分のコマンドで死ぬ運命だったというわけですわね。
Essentially, Renegade was destined to die after 2 more commands.
あれ、理想さんが死んだ時下道探偵とはかなり距離が離れていた気がするよ。
Huh? But I thought Renegade Detective was pretty far away back when Ideal died.
それに理想さんが亡くなってからもう1週間くらい経っているのに、そのコマンドは残っていたのかな。
Not to mention she's been dead for a week now. Does the command remain in effect?
私が記憶する限り10メートル以内かどうかというところだったわね。ギリギリ届いたか、もしくは下道ちゃんの暴走を予期してコマンドを発信済みだったんじゃないかしら。
From what I recall, he might have been just barely in range, so either the command reached him, or she expected him to go rogue and set it in advance.
探偵は今回みたいに首輪をはめた対象と一緒に閉じ込められる事態も十分に考えられる立場。一度発信さえしてしまえば消えないでしょうからね。
It's plausible for a detective to wind up trapped with a collared individual, just like we were. So once sent, the command probably wouldn't expire.
起爆に必要なコマンドの数が3つで、監視者も3人。監視者全員の同意を得なければ起爆はできないわけですね。
Detonation requires 3 commands, one each from 3 observers total, meaning you need consent from all of them to trigger the collar.
社畜探偵が無能探偵の説得をしつこく試みていたのも納得です。と 少女はこれまでの出来事を思い返しながら言った。
That would explain why Workaholic pushed so hard to persuade you, competent detective, the girl said, recollecting the events thus far.
あれ、でも待って、死んだ時にコマンドが発信されるのは分かったけど、おかしくないかな。
Huh? Wait a sec. If a command gets sent at the time of death, isn't something still off?
理想さんと社畜さんが亡くなった時にコマンドが発信されたとしても、あと一人分足りなくない？
Even if Ideal and Workaholic's commands were sent when they died, you still need another person, right?
足りないからこそ、社畜さんは無能くんの説得を続けていたんだよね。
Wasn't that the reason Workaholic was pressuring you so much, Incompetent? To try and get you to go along with the plan?
そこが謎だったんだ。
Right. That's the tricky part.
でもその答えはすごくシンプルだった。実は通常時に発信するコマンドと心肺停止時に発信するコマンドは別扱い。
But the answer is easy, really. A normal command and the one sent due to cardiopulmonary arrest are considered distinct from one another.
つまり事前にコマンドを発信した状態で死ぬと、
Oh,
一人で
tricky
二人
two
分を賄うことがで
commands.
きるんだ。
OP command. So if you send a command and then died afterward, you would essentially be sending two commands.
どこにそんな情報が？社畜さんだって一言も言っていなかったじゃありませんの。
Where'd you come across this information? I don't believe Workaholic ever spoke a single word of this, did he?
それこそが社畜さんの仕掛けた罠だったんです。
Exactly. That was all part of his trap.
きっと僕にしつこく迫っていたのも作戦の一つだったんだと思います。僕が交渉に乗らなければ起爆できない。そう思わせておいたからこそ、下道探偵は油断していた。
Pressing me was part of the plan too, I bet. Him not being able to detonate the collar without my help was just a lie to put Renegade off his guard.
自分の近くで社畜さんが死ぬと首輪が起爆するなんて思ってもいなかったでしょうね。
He probably had no clue that the collar would go off if Workaholic died nearby.
自分が下道探偵を殺せればよし、返り討ちにあったとしても、自分が殺されれば相討ちには持っていける。
Workaholic would be thrilled so long as he slew Renegade. Even if things took a grim turn and he were killed, this would allow him to strike back.
社畜さんが命を懸けると言っていたのは決して誇張ではなかったということですわね。
It would appear that Workaholic's willingness to stake his life on this was no exaggeration.
社畜ちゃんは初めから死ぬつもりだったのかしら。
I have to wonder, did he intend to die from the very beginning?
それは違うんじゃないかな。社畜さんは最後まで生きようとしていたのだと思う。
No, I don't think so. I think he tried to survive to the bitter end.
僕も同意見だよ。最初から死ぬ気なら力でわざわざあんな事件を引き起こす必要はないからね。
Was that it? Yeah, I agree. If he had always planned to give his life, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to commit that murder back in the dungeon.
きっと社畜さんは万が一自分が死んだ時には相打ちにする覚悟で下道探偵とのケリをつけるつもりだったんだと思う。
But I think Workaholic was so determined to put an end to Renegade that he was prepared for the slim chance they'd end up going to the grave together.
ただ下道探偵にこのコマンドのルールを知られたら台無しだ。 PC から USB メモリを使ってデータを抜き出すことでルールがバレないよう細工したんだろうね。
But it'd be all in vain if Renegade knew how the commands worked. Workaholic tried to keep him unaware by extracting the PC's data onto the USB.
そして社畜ち
The
ゃんは
USB.
危惧していた通り下道ちゃんに殺されて、そのせいで下道ちゃんも死んでしまう。最後まで因縁深い二人ね。
But as Workaholic feared, he was killed by Renegade, causing the latter to die in turn. Their fates remained entwined until the end.
ちょっとお待ちなさい。下道探偵が社畜さんを殺したとして、あの男はどのような方法で殺したと言いますの？
Hold on a moment. If Renegade really did kill Workaholic, how did he go about it?
社畜さんが殺される間際まで、私と無能さんは下道探偵と交戦しておりましたのよ。
Incompetent and I were locked in combat against Renegade right up until Workaholic was murdered.
下道探偵を擁護するようで気分はよくありませんが、彼にはブレーカーを落とすことも社畜さんを拘束することも不可能だったと思いますわ。
While I despise Kamen Renegade's defense like this, I am reluctant to believe that he was able to trip the breakers or restrain Workaholic.
感電させたトリックはとても単純ですよ。犯人はとある手段を用いて感電のタイミングを操作してみせたんです。
The electrocution involved a very simple trick. You see, the culprit had a system in place to control the timing of the outage. Electrocution only requires an active current. In other words, you won't be shocked so long as the electricity isn't flowing. This case appears complex, but it's actually a fairly basic gimmick. The electrocution's timing was controlled by the summoning incompetent detective, causing a black.
犯人は意図的に停電を起こすことで感電のタイミングを操ったんですよ。
That's right. Culprit controlled the timing of the electrocution by intentionally causing a blackout.
あの停電は確かに作為的でしたけど、停電中に感電をさせる準備など可能ですの？
The outage was certainly deliberate, but could one truly arrange an electrocution right in the middle of it?
この施設で照明が消えると、ライトなしでは前だって見えませんのに。
When the facility went dark, we were unable to see a thing without a light source.
察しが悪い上流階級ですね。と呆れつつも、少女は聖母のような慈愛の心でもって解説を始める。
Such lowbrow intuition for one so high class, the girl said. Despite her vexation, she carries on with a benevolence rivaling the Virgin Mary's.
発見された時はこの状態。手錠が体に接していて、水に濡れた状態なら簡単に感電するでしょう。
Recall the condition Workaholic was found in. With him in handcuffs and doused in water, it'd be easy to electrocute him.
人をこの状態で拘束するのは難儀しそうですわね。ブレーカーが落ちてから再び照明が点灯するまでの数分ではとても難しそうですわ。
It would prove difficult to restrain a person in this manner. You would only have a few minutes from the breaker tripping to the lights returning.
そうですね。ですが犯人は簡単な道具を用いて感電しない状態を作り出しました。
Perhaps so, but the culprit used a simple tool to create a setup that hindered electrocution.
それが何なのかは無能探偵、あなたならわかるでしょう。と少女はいつもの仕返しと言わんばかりに質問する。
You know what was used, right, incompetent detective? Asked the girl, passing the buck as she so often did. The unexpected question startles me. But it's fine. I've been keeping up with our investigation, so a question like this is no problem at all. It was, I would assume, the rubber wristband. Yeah!
床に落ちていたゴム製のリストバンド。
Easy, easy, easy. It was a rubber wristband on the floor nearby, wasn't it?
それって研究室にも置かれていた来客用のゴムバンド？
Isn't that one of those visitor bands from the lab?
ロックの解除用に社畜ちゃんが身につけていたのはわかるとして、どうして現場にも落ちてたのか不思議だったわ。
Workaholic used one to unlock the doors. Seems strange for it to end up on the floor of the crime scene.
もちろん偶然じゃありません。犯人はこのリストバンドを生かして社畜さんを感電死させたんですよ。
Obviously, it's no coincidence. This wristband was instrumental to how the culprit electrocuted Workaholic.
まず停電前の社畜さんはこのリストバンドを手首につけられた状態で拘束されていた。
Before the outage, Workaholic was restrained while wearing the wristband.
その状態ならいくら電気が流れていたってリストバンドが絶縁体の役目を果たして感電を防げるという寸法です。
That way, it wouldn't matter if the current was on. The band would act as an insulator, stopping the electricity from reaching him.
あとは停電の間にリストバンドを手首から外して電気を流せば感電は不可避。
Then, while the power was out, the culprit removed the wristband, ensuring electrocution would occur once the power returned.
私たちが到着するまでの数分間感電し続ければどうあがいても死ぬという寸法です。と少女は無能探偵の推理を鮮やかにフォローした。
The current flowed for minutes before we arrived. No amount of struggling would have staved off death, the girl said, complimenting incompetence theory.
でも停電中だよ。あの暗闇の中、どうやってリストバンドを外したの？
But there was a blackout, remember? How did they remove the wristband in the dark?
あのリストバンドは地下牢の塗料と同じで暗闇で光る仕様なんだ。暗闇の中でも社畜さんの居場所を把握することは難しくない。
The band is phosphorescent, just like that paint in the dungeon. It wouldn't have been hard to locate him, even in the dark.
もちろんあのブレーカーも狙って落としたもの。最初から全て仕組まれていた事件だったんだよ。
Of course. In fact, tripping the breakers was part of their plan too. The whole thing was orchestrated from the start.
ではブレーカーを落とした人が犯人ですわね。誰が電気機器に触れてブレーカーを落としたんですの？
So whoever shut off the circuits is a culprit? Who was it that touched the distribution board and disrupted the power?
ブレーカーは一人でに自動で落ちたんです。
The thing is, the breakers tripped on their own.
なんですって？
I beg your pardon?
そんなことできるわけないじゃありませんの。いくら私が世間知らずの上流階級であったとしても、舐めないでいただきたいですわ。
That couldn't possibly be the case. A noblewoman such as myself may be ignorant in the ways of the world, but do not take me for a fool.
それができるんです。そう。例えば、もうすぐこの部屋の電気も消えます。
Actually, it is possible. In fact, the lights in here are about to go out again shortly.
電気が一人でに？
What? Of their own volition?
飛躍くん、ブレーカーを戻してきてもらえるかな。
Doleful, can you reset the breakers?
任せて。
On it. After a moment, the room's lights flicker back on.
ほら、手を触れずにブレーカーを落とせたでしょ。
See, you can cut off the power without messing with the breakers.
もったいぶらずに早くトリックを教えなさい。上流階級にもわかるよ、丁寧にね。
Dispense with your showboating and tell us how it works, in noblemen's terms, if you please. Urged on by Posh, I begin my explanation.
僕らが研究室のエアコンをつけたとき、風でマウスが動いて勝手に PC が起動したことを覚えてますか？
When we turn on the lab's AC, the airstream moved the mouse, causing the PC to boot itself up, correct?
ええ、覚えていますわ。スリープ状態にしてあった PC がエアコンの風でマウスが動いて起動したんですわよね。それがどうしましたの？
I recall. Computer was asleep, but when the air conditioning jostled the mouse, it awoke. Your point being?
あの時と同じ原理で全ての研究室の PC を同時に起動させたんですよ。
Using the same principle, culprit turned all the lab's PCs on at the same time.
研究室のエアコンは強力です。スリープ状態にしておけば一度に全ての PC を起動させることも可能だと思いませんか？
The AC in the lab is powerful. If the computers were all in sleep mode, isn't it possible for them to all wake up at the same time?
どんな家電も起動時が一番電力を食いますからね。あれだけの数の PC が一度に起動すれば瞬間的に電力が跳ね上がってブレーカーは落ちてしまいます。
For any appliance, it's a startup that consumes the most power. Turning on that many PCs at the same time caused a spike, tripping the breakers.
それにエアコンには指定した時間に起動する機能もあります。事前に準備だけしておけばあとはエアコンが起動するのを待つだけでいいんです。
Also, the AC has a feature where you can set it to switch on at a certain time. Arrange things beforehand and all you have to do is wait.
なるほど。このトリックを使えば自分の好きな時刻に停電させることが可能ですわね。
I see. By using this maneuver, one could trigger a blackout whenever they so wished.
芸道探偵はこのようにして私たちと交戦することでアリバイを作りつつ社畜さんを殺害してみせたということですわね。
Thus, Renegade Detective laid this trap, murdering Workaholic while fighting us to create an alibi.
でもその直後、下道探偵自身も無残な死を遂げた。無能君、あの後下道探偵の身に何が起きたの？この事件の全容を教えて。
But not long after, he himself met a cruel end. What happened to Renegade Detective Incompetent? Tell us the full story.
改めて一から順を追って説明するよ。
Okay, I'll go over it all from the beginning.
異なる階層でほぼ同時に起きたこの複雑怪奇な事件の全容をね。
Everything that brought about this bizarre case that occurred simultaneously on multiple floors.
前提としてこの事件はつながっているように見えて、実は全く別の事件。2つの死が結果的につながったことで起きたものだった。
We presume these cases were linked, but in truth, they're completely separate events, ultimately resulting in two connected deaths.
まず被害者の一人である社畜さんは、たとえ自分が死んでも下道探偵を殺せるようコマンドを発信していた。
First off, Workaholic, one of the victims, sent a command so he could kill Renegade, even in the event of his own death.
ルール上、あとは僕がコマンドを発信するか、社畜さんが死ぬことで下道探偵の首は爆発する状態だったんだ。
According to the rules, if I had also sent a command or if Workaholic's heart stopped, Renegade's collar would detonate.
そうとは知らず、下道探偵は社畜さんと僕らを追い込むべく行動を始めた。
Unaware of all this, Renegade detectives started to corral us in Workaholic.
遺体の状態からして、きっと下道探偵は僕らを施設内アナウンスで呼び寄せる前に社畜さんと交戦し、どこかに拘束していたんだろうね。
Given the state of the body, Renegade clashed with Workaholic and tied him up somewhere before luring us in using an announcement.
家族さんを人質に取ることに成功した下道探偵は、ブレーカーを落とすための細工と社畜さんを感電死させるための準備を始めた。
Once Posh was successfully taken hostage, he began making preparations to shut off the breakers and electrocute Workaholic.
トリックはとてもシンプルだ。気絶させた社畜さんを手錠で拘束して、ゴムバンドで絶縁状態にし、手錠を電線とつなぐ。
It was a simple trick. He cuffed the unconscious Workaholic, using the wristband as an insulator. Then, he attached the wires to the cuffs.
これでゴムバンドさえ外せば感電死させられる状態の完成。あとは呼びつけた無能さんとブレーカーが落ちるまでやり合えばトリックを完遂できますね。
Remove the band, and Workaholic would fry. All he had to do to carry out his scheme was lure in the fight, incompetent until the breakers tripped.
おそらく無能さんへの嫌がらせじみた行動も私たちを分断させるための
I feel
罠
like
だ
I
った
said
の
that
で
last
しょうね
sentence weird. Let me see it again. Remove the band and Workaholic would fry. All he had to do to carry out his scheme was lure in and fight incompetent until the breakers. Yeah, okay. The appalling actions he directed at incompetent were merely a gambit with which to divide our ranks.
結果的に私たちは人数の利を生かせずにバラバラに行動してしまったのですから。
Ultimately, we failed to capitalize on our superior numbers, causing our efforts to be disjointed.
僕らは結局あの男に踊らされっぱなしでしたね。
Yeah, he had us on a string the whole time.
下道探偵は計画通りブレーカーが落ちた隙に逃走。社畜さんを拘束してある通路まで走ります。
As planned, the breaker shut off, and Renegade used that opening to slip away. From there, he hurried to where Workaholic was tied up.
ゴムバンドの発光を頼りに素早く社畜さんの腕からゴムバンドを引き剥がすと、分電盤へと戻りブレーカーを上げた。すると
He located the glowing band, slipped it off Workaholic's arm, went to the distribution board and reset the breaker. And then,
絶縁体を失った社畜さんはなすすべなく感電して、同時に消火栓にも電気が流れて非常ベルが鳴るというわけだね。
with no insulation, Workaholic was helplessly electrocuted. At the same moment, power went to the fire hydrant, triggering the alarm, right?
非常ベルが鳴ったのは偶然なのかもしれないわね。ほら、下道ちゃんってばたくさん首輪を持っていたじゃない？
Maybe the alarm going off was a coincidence. Renegade had plenty of collars with him, right?
本当ならあれを爆破させることで私たちを誘導するつもりだったんじゃないかしら。
It could be that he originally planned to lead us around by making them explode.
つまりどちらにせよ、私たちの注意を引くためにあのようなまどろっこしい殺害方法を取ったわけですね。と少女は結論を述べた。
Either way, he used that drawn-out murder method as a means of getting our attention, concluded the girl.
きっとそうだよ。犯人の狙い通り非常ベルに気を取られた僕たちはエレベーターで地上への脱出を図る下道探偵に気づくのが遅れた。
Exactly. Just like the culprit intended, we were distracted by the alarm and slow to realize that Renegade was riding the elevator to the surface.
でも下道探偵は社畜さんを殺すことが自分の首輪が起爆の条件を満たしてしまうことに気づけなかった。
But Renegade Detective never figured out that killing Workaholic would fulfill the conditions to Tricker's collar.
その結果、下道探偵自身も死ぬことになって連鎖的に事件が発生。それぞれの異なる思惑が偶然重なった結果、奇妙な構造を生むことになったんだ。
As a result, he himself died, creating a case built on chain reactions. Their different goals aligned, forming a bizarre picture for us to piece together.
でもそうなると下道ちゃんの死に方が妙じゃないかしら。
Still, doesn't that leave the actual manner of Renegade's death in question?
捜査前に共有を受けた話ですと、芸道探偵の死因は首輪の爆発ではなく、エレベーターに首を挟まれたことですわよね。
You said so before our investigation. Renegade's death was not due to the collar's detonation, but by his head getting stuck in the elevator, no?
おそらくエレベーターの扉が不調で動かなかったんですよ。
The elevator doors wouldn't budge, probably because it was broken.
この階にエレベーターがついた時も力ずくで開けましたよね。きっと下道探偵も同じ状況に陥ったんです。
We had to force them apart when it arrived on this floor too, right? Renegade must have faced the same situation.
そっか。芸道探偵は片腕を失ってたから首輪の爆発でこじ開けようとしたんだね。
I see. Having lost an arm, he used the collars to blow it open.
それでも生まれた隙間はわずかだったからなかなか出られずに苦労したんだ。そうしている間に。
Yeah, but he only managed to make a small gap and struggled through it. At the same time,
エレベーターが動き出して死んでしまったということですわね。あの芸道探偵にしては少々おまぬけな最後なのが気になるところですけれど。
the elevator began to move, and he perished. Oddly foolish final moments for a man like him.
きっとさすがの芸道探偵も焦っていたんだよ。エレベーターのボタンに押したら死ぬなんておかしな張り紙をするくらいだしね。
I'm sure that even Renegade would panic then. He also left that strange note on the elevator button, warning this button may cause death.
僕らと違って下道探偵は首輪が起爆するまで猶予があることも知らないからね。気が動転しておかしな行動に出るのも不思議じゃないと思うんだ。
And, unlike us, he didn't know that he had time before his collar exploded. It makes sense that he would lose his cool and start acting out. Essentially, each of these two deaths was inadvertently caused by the other. It seemed like an unsolvable double murder at first, but the perpetrator unwittingly took their own life when they killed Workaholic. The culprit is obvious. In case it's culprit, I mean, I guess you wouldn't pick... You'd pick Renegade, because they're talking about unwittingly.
下道探偵こそが今回の2つの事件を引き起こした犯人。
He's the one who murdered Workaholic, and then as a final fuck you, Workaholic got it to Renegade. That's right, so I was right, basically right from the beginning. That's right, Renegade Detective is the culprit responsible for both murders. Suddenly, the face Renegade wore in death flashes through my mind.
下道探偵は笑っていた。
Renegade Detective was smiling. He should have been panicking as his doom drew near. That'd explain why he did something so illogical. But his satisfied expression gives me pause.
本当に僕の推理は正しいのか？
Is my theory actually right? If Renegade Detective's the culprit, this case is closed. The most suspicious person of all got what was coming to him, death. Workaholic and Renegade. Their bond ended in mutual destruction. It leaves a bitter taste, but from here, all we need to do is wait for help without any further mishaps. It's the best possible outcome for us. So why am I still so uneasy? Uh-oh.
そうか。
Something's happening. Oh, right. I realize why my concern lingers. It's my lack of faith in my own abilities. In the end, I still have no confidence. Until now, Holmes had always been there to keep me afloat. When I was uncertain, she'd smile and tell me it was okay. She was my courage. But now she's nowhere to be found. Not having her here makes it really hit home just how much support she gave me.
ホームズさん、僕のこの推理は正しいんですか？教えてください。
Piece of dust on my glasses.
もう一度姿を見せてください。ミズさん。
Can't get it off. I got it off, I think. Nope, didn't get it off. Fucking. Which side is it on? I can't tell. There, got it. Wind wasn't working. Holmes, in my line of reason, is my line of reasoning correct here? Please tell me. Show yourself to me, Holmes. Please. Just then, sparks flare past my eyes, and my perfectly clear vision goes white. What am I looking at?
最後の最後でこんな結末を見てしまうとは、やはり理想探偵の役割など担うものではない。
If this is the vision at the end of the tunnel, then it would seem you won't be carrying on the ideal detective name after all. I hear the voice of someone I've longed to see.
サイカちゃん。
Saika? The name from so long ago slips past my lips. Holmes offers a sweet smile in reply.
ああ、よかった。やっとその名前で呼んでくれたな。
Oh, good. You're finally calling me by that name.
君も思い出した通り、私は君からさん付けなどされる女じゃなかったんだ。なんだかずっと脇腹をまさぐられているような心地でむずがゆかったよ。
You ought to remember now. You were never so professional around me. It always felt off, like someone was constantly poking at my ribs.
どうしてずっと姿を見せてくれなかったの？それにこの空間って。
Well, why were you gone for so long? And where is this?
最初に言っただろう。今の私は死に際の後悔が生んだ残留思念だ。
I told you at the beginning, didn't I? My final regrets birthed me as a residual memory.
私はかつて君に守られたことで君の担うはずだった理想探偵としての運命を肩代わりした。
You protected me once, so I took your place, assuming the mantle of ideal detective that was intended to fall on your shoulders.
だが情けなくも志半ばで八崎港に敗れ命を落とした。このままでは何も知らない君にもう一度理想探偵の役割を担わせてしまう。
But alas, I lost to the Duke, slain before I could achieve my aims. And now, in spite of all that you lack, you are to become ideal detective once more.
その罪悪感が生んだ存在こそ今の私だ。故に君が全てを思い出した今、お役御免となったわけさ。
Ultimately, I'm a product of my own guilt. As such, you remembering everything has now relieved me of my duty.
徐々に意識の落ちる時間が伸びていったのも君の記憶が取り戻されていたからだよ。果たすべき使命を全うするに従って私の存在は脆弱になっていったのさ。
My downtime has been steadily increasing as you regain your memories. My existence continues to fade as my mission nears completion. Oh, it's just like in Kingdom Hearts. With Roxas and Shion and sort of. Not really. That's tough.
間もなく
That's a
私の
tough
意識は
analogy.
完全に消滅し二度と会話することも叶わなくなる。詩的に語るならば二度目の死というやつかな。
Soon, my consciousness will be completely gone, and never more will we be able to speak. To put it poetically, I shall suffer a second death.
二度目の死ってもう会えないってこと？
A second death? Does that mean we'll never get to meet again?
そうなるかな。
I wonder.
待ってよ。ようやく君のことを思い出せたのに、そんなのあんまりだよ。
Wait, but I finally remembered who you are. This isn't fair. I reach my hand out to touch Saika, but my hand slipped through her like I'm grasping at fog. I can see her so clearly, yet I can't even feel her.
そんな前は夢の中なら触れられたのに。
What? But I was able to touch you before in my dreams.
悲しまないでくれ、ワト君。本当なら私はあの時君とろくに言葉も交わせずに死んでいたんだ。
Don't be sad, Watto. In reality, I died after sharing only a few words with you.
悲劇ばかり見せるエンドシーングなど心底嫌いだったが、こ うして私たちをもう一度出会わせてくれたのだから少しは感謝しないとな。
I detested the denouement for showing nothing but tragedy. Still, it did let us see each other one last time, so for that, I'm thankful.
やだよ。まだ行かないでよ、サイカちゃん。
No, don't go yet, Saika.
まだ僕は探偵として全然未熟だよ。君と話したいことがたくさんあるんだ。もっとそばでたくさんのことを教えてよ。
I still have so much to learn as a detective. There's so much more I want to talk with you about. Stay with me, keep teaching me.
ワト
Oh, Watto?
ずるいな君は。やっと死ねると思ったのに最後の最後に未練ができてしまったじゃないか。
How sly of you. Here I was prepared to die, but at the last minute you make me want to linger on. Saika stretches her hand toward my face. It's transparent like glass. The scenery beyond us is visible in her tearful eyes.
だけど悲しんでいる暇なんてないよ。君が今目の当たりにしているこの光景はこの先の未来で起こりうる悲劇だよ。
But this is no time for crying. What you are about to see is a potential tragedy waiting to happen. What? What? Whoa. I turn only to be confronted by mounds of corpses, more than I've ever seen before. What kind of vision is this? It's far different from any other premonition I've had. This vivid collage of death borders on the fantastical.
死体。何が起きたって言うんだ。
All these bodies. What happened?
死体以外に情報を読み取れない点から察するにまだ惨劇の気配しか捉えていないのだろう。だがこのままではいずれ大量の人死にが発生することは間違いない。
As there's nothing to be gleaned from the bodies, this is likely only a glimpse of calamity. But if nothing changes, many will surely die in time.
私も八崎港事件を捜査するうちにこの未来を予知したよ。だ
This
から
is
こそ対策をせいて本部のみんなを招集までした。
This is the future I saw while investigating the Quartering Duke. It's precisely why I moved with haste to usher everyone to HQ.
その判断も八崎港は読んでいたのかもしれないがな。
Quartering Duke must have predicted I would make that call.
でも一番疑わしかった下道探偵は死んだんだよ。
But Renegade's dead. Wasn't he the prime suspect?
八崎港はもういなくなったはずなのにどうして。
The Quartering Duke should be defeated, so how?
この未来を見ていることが答えさ。
That you can see this vision isn't answer enough.
ワト君、君も内心では気づいているだろう。
You feel it too deep.
こうも簡単に死ぬわけだ。
You feel it too deep down, don't you? You know the Quartering Duke wouldn't be so easily killed. Yeah, we still have one more chapter, buddy. Can't have it be solved by now. I can't argue back. I know it to be true. My hunch became certainty the moment I saw the departed renegade's face. The Quartering Duke lives. The case will continue if he escapes the island. All the tragedies that befell us would be for naught.
この死体の山はこの先で生まれる八崎港事件の犠牲者たちなんだね。
These bodies are the Quartering Duke's future victims, aren't they?
ああ、おそらくな。死に様は異なるだろうが、相当数の死体が並ぶことは間違いないだろう。
Yes, I believe so. Each of them may die in different ways, but there's no doubt that a mound of corpses will be left in his wake.
君は自分でも目を背けたくなるような悲劇の可能性を完全に突きつけられたというわけさ。
This possible tragedy has been thrust before you, the kind you may rather not even think about.
これこそがエンドシーイングの呪縛だよ。理想探偵として生きる者は決して悲劇から目を背けることができない。悲劇を覆すことを義務付けられる。
Such is the denouement's binding curse. Those who possess it can never avert their eyes from tragedy. They are obligated to reverse it.
もしかしたら下道探偵に殺されていた方がまだマシだったと思う日も来るかもしれないな。
There may even come a day when you'll wish you had been killed by a renegade detective. Ominous. Saika chuckles as if to intimidate me.
さてワト君、これから君はどうする？
So tell me, Watto, what will you do?
先ほど言った通り、もう私は君を手助けすることはできない。
Like I
今
told
後は一人で悲劇と向き合っていく必要がある。
like I told you before, I can no longer help you. You would have to face the tragedies to come on your own.
この島で体験したよう
To
な
come
悲
on your
劇
own.
との開口が日常となる。幸せとは言い難い過酷な毎日。北条ワトとして生きることすら難しいだろう。
The kind you've seen on Morgue would become regular events. Each day would be harsh with precious little joy. Even life as Watto Hojo would be challenging.
それでも君は理想探偵としての役割を担う覚悟はあるか？
Yet, despite all that, are you still prepared to take on the role of ideal detective? Sayaka's purple eyes pierced through me. When I first arrived here, I wouldn't have been able to answer. I knew nothing back then. I'd even forgotten my own past. I didn't even realize I was experiencing a reunion 10 years in the making. In fact, for all that time, I'd believed my false memories. I thought I couldn't save her. I led a carefree life that forced a cruel fate on Sayaka. Now that I remember it all, I can't fathom fleeing from it. I refuse to. Because above all else,
サイカちゃんを死なせるわけにはいかない。
there's no way I'm letting you die, Sayaka. Hmm?
今なら機動探偵の言っていた意味もよくわかるよ。
Now I see what Renegade Detective meant.
僕は結局サイカちゃんを守りきることができなかった。今こうして二度も死なせてしまいそうになってる。
In the
け
end,
どもう死なせない。
in the end, I failed to protect you, Sayaka. And now it turns out that I'll have to watch you die again, but I refuse to let you go.
君が背負ってきた運命ごと僕は君の命を背負って生きていくって決めたんだ。
I've made up my mind. I'm taking responsibility for your life, including the fate you were made to bear.
本当にいいのか？まだ引き返すことはできるよ。
Are you sure? It isn't too late to turn back.
私の言葉も思い出した過去もエンドシーイングの能力だって全部妄想だと思えばそれでいいんだ。それだけで君はこれまで通り平凡に生きられる。
My words, your remembered past, the denouement, you could excuse it all as a delusion and return to life as you knew it, in all its normality.
それでも君は探偵として生きるつもりなのか？
In the face of all that, are you truly still committed to being a detective? In the face of all that, yes. Why would I say I'm not? Of course I am.
僕は探偵として生きるよ。
I'm not. Let's just end the game here. I am. I'll dedicate my life to being a detective.
きっと探偵を辞めた方が楽だろうけど。
I am curious what would happen if you quit. I'm not, though.
もう嫌なんだ。
I know it's easier to call it quits, but I'm sick of shielding my eyes from every tragedy.
未熟だし、サイカちゃんには全然追いつけないかもしれないけど、理想探偵の役割を全うしてみせる。
I may still be a rookie, and I may never reach the heights you did, Sayaka, but I'll use the denouement to play my part as ideal detective.
そうか。やっぱり君は全てを知ってもなお過酷な道を選ぶんだな。
Very well. You know everything now, yet you still choose to walk the cruelest path.
10年前から何も変わらない。いつも一人で全てを抱え込んでばかりの大バカだ。
Nothing's changed in the past.
後悔するぞ。
Nothing's changed in the past 10 years. You're still an utter fool, shouldering it all alone. Someday you'll surely come to regret this.
なんて言っても意味はないか。君の堅くなさは10年前から知っている。
Though I suppose warning you won't do much good, I learned long ago how stubborn you are.
そんな君だからこそ私は憧れたんだからな。
But that's precisely why I admire you so.
サイカちゃん、
Sayaka. Oh no, Sayaka's body grows hazy like a fine mist. I reach out, but she still escapes my grasp. I finally caught up to her, and yet now, can't even touch her.
ワト君、本音を言うとね、君には何も思い出さずにいてほしかったんだ。
I'll be perfectly frank, Watto. I'd hoped you wouldn't remember anything.
このまま何も思い出さなければ、私 私の未練は消えず、ずっとワト君のそばにいられる。君もまた嫌な過去に目を向ける必要だってなくなると思ったんだ。
If you hadn't, my regrets would have lingered, allowing me to stay by your side forever. That way, you'd never have to face your dark past.
そんなこと君が望むわけもないのにな。
Though of course, you would never wish for such a thing.
だから10年前のことを教えてくれなかったんだね。
So, that's why you didn't tell me what happened 10 years ago.
そうさ、身勝手な女だろ。結局最初から最後まで私の個人的な都合で君を振り回したに過ぎない。
Yes, I'm quite the selfish woman, aren't I? Ultimately, I use you for my own purposes, even up to this very moment.
存分に恨んでくれ。私は初めから君が憧れるような探偵ではなかったのさ。
I pray that you resent me. From the very start, I was never once the detective you so revered.
恨めるはずがないよ。君は誰よりも理想探偵の役割を担う大変さを理解している。
As if I could ever hold that against you. You know better than anyone how hard it is to bear the title of ideal detective.
だから僕がかつて理想探偵だったことも、君が肩代わりしてくれたことも隠したかったんだよね。
That's why you wanted to hide my past as the original ideal detective and the fact that you had taken my place. Am I right? That face.
君だって10年前から変わらない。いつだって誰かをかばってばかりのお人よしじゃないか。
You haven't changed either. Your kind-hearted nature makes you throw yourself in a line of fire for the sake of others.
ずっと思い出せずにいて、思い続けてくれてありがとう、マイカちゃん。
I'm so sorry I couldn't remember until now. But all the same, you never stopped looking out for me, even once. So thank you, Saika. Saika's expression flickers as tears well up in her eyes. Then, her face crinkles into a broad smile.
欠勤だな、私も。お礼など求めていなかったというのに、いざ君の言葉を聞くとこのざまだよ。
And I was being so calculating too. I never hoped for any gratitude, but I'm a right mess after hearing you say all that.
理想の探偵を演じ続けるのは並大抵の道ではない。きっとこの先、これまで以上の悲劇と対面していくことになるだろう。
The role of ideal detective is no ordinary path. It's true. You'll encounter far more tragedy than what you've already witnessed.
されど、今の君ならばきっと平気だ。どんな悲劇だって覆せる。最高の探偵になれるよ。
Still, given who you are, you'll be just fine. No matter what adversity befalls you, you'll find a way to reverse it. As the greatest of detectives. Saika continues to dissipate, seemingly melting into the world around her.
理想探偵を演じ続けた者として最後のアドバイスだ。エンドシーイングの本質は未来の余地ではなく、全てを見ること。
Here's my final word of advice as one once cast as the ideal detective. The didn't want does not merely predict the future. Rather, it sees all.
今の君になら過去に訪れた場所でも異なるものが見えるだろう。この1週間の出来事を振り返り、その力で真実を見極めてみるといい。
Visit a place you've been before, and you'll likely discover something new. Reflect upon the events of this past week and use your power to find the truth.
初歩的なことですね、ホームズさん。
That's elementary, right, Holmes? Ah, clever.
君との名探偵ごっこは楽しかったよ、ワトソン君。
It's been fun playing legendary detective with you, Watto. Ultimately, I failed to save Saika. By the time I remembered it all, it was far too late. I never got to repay her. That leaves only one thing left for me to do.
さあ、反撃開始といこう。君の手でこの国に起ころうとしている最強最悪の悲劇、八つ咲港事件を覆すんだ。
Yes, time to strike back. It's up to you. Our home is threatened by the most atrocious tragedy yet. You must reverse the case of the quartering Duke.
約束する。必ず八崎港事件を解決に導いてみせるよ。
Right. It's a promise. I swear to pave a way and resolve the quartering Duke incidents. I make this vow to one I cannot see, the one who is everything to me.
さん、無能さん。急に固まってどうしたんですの？
Impotent. Incompetent. Why did you suddenly go catatonic?
ごめんなさい。僕、どれくらいぼーっとしていましたか？
Oh, sorry. How long have I been out of it?
1分少々じゃないかしら。なんですの？もしや寝不足ですの？
A minute, perhaps? Whatever is the matter. Lack of sleep or the like?
そんなものです。
Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe I had one of those waking dreams just now. Then again, whatever it was doesn't really matter. It isn't going to change what I have to do.
家族さん、僕を信じてください。
Posh, I need you to trust me. Please.
無能さん？
Incompetent? I don't care if that was a dream, an illusion, or even a hallucination. All I know for certain is that it's too early to say we've resolved these paradox killings.
僕は社畜さんを殺したのは下道探偵だと考えていましたが、結論を出すにはまだ早いことに気づきました。
I said it was Renegade who killed Workaholic, but I realize now that it's too early to draw that conclusion.
はい？何を言っていますの？誰がどう考えても下道探偵が犯人としか考えられないじゃありませんの。
Pardon? What are you suggesting? By any and all accounts, Renegade Detective simply must be the culprit, no?
多くの証拠がその事実を示しています。
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that points to that fact.
でも一つだけ、どうしても腑に落ちない点があるんです。
But there's one part of it that just doesn't make any sense.
腑に落ちない点？
Something that makes no sense?
下道探偵が死ぬ間際に笑って死んでいることですよ。
Renegade was smiling when he died.
下道探偵にとっては無念の死のはず。
But you'd think his imminent doom would have been something regrettable for him.
奪った命を背負うことに執着していたあいつが社畜さんを殺してすぐ死ぬなんて悔しいはずなんです。
He's fixated on taking responsibility for the lives he claims. He should have been in anguish over dying so soon after killing Workaholic.
確かにそうですけど。
That is true, but it's because Renegade Detective tried so hard to kill me that I understand his mentality so well. The irony is almost too much. But much like Saika in my dream just now, the smile on his lifeless face showed not a single sign of regret. Something must have happened right before he died to give him that satisfaction.
でも根拠はないんだよね。
But there's no actual grounds for that, is there?
下手に行動を起こせば敵側の罠にかかるリスクも増えます。それでも捜査を続けるんですか？
One false step, and we may just walk into a trap laid by the enemy. And yet you still want us to keep investigating?
何か確信していることがあるようね。
You must be pretty convinced about something.
私たちを説得するだけの材料を提示してくださいよ。と少女は要求する。
We ask that you show us something concrete, demanded the girl.
ごめん。飛躍くんの言う通り、具体的な根拠はないんだ。あえて言うなれば、僕の探偵としての勘かな。
I'm sorry, but Doleful is right. I don't have a solid basis for this. All I can say is that my detective senses are going off.
魔界さんから全ての物事には理由があることを教わった。
Mystic taught me that there's a reason behind everything.
ヤマトさんから一度信じたらブレるなと励まされた。
Oh, it's all the people. Rowdy encouraged me to never waver once my mind is set.
武装さんのおかげで守り抜く強さを知ることができた。
And thanks to armor, I discovered how to find the strength to hold fast.
この島で学んだからこそわかる。まだ輪郭のないぼやけた推理だけど、
I'm gonna sneeze.
機動探偵の死に隠された謎があるって感じるんだ。
A small one. Everything I've learned on Morgue is how I know, even if it's just a vague inkling for now, that there's a hidden mystery behind Renegade's death.
救助が来るまでの間、もう少しだ
Oh,
け
wait, are we gonna
僕
do
に
another
協力
case
してくれ
thing?
ない
Okay.
かな。
So until help arrives, will you aid me in this for just a bit longer?
機動探偵の死について、いや、この島で起きたすべての事件について、もう一度考える時間が欲しいんだ。
I need time to think Renegade's death over. No, to think about everything that's happened here on this island. Oh boy. Everyone falls silent at my petition. Going off a totally unfounded hunch ought to disqualify me as a detective. Back when I first arrived, I'm sure they'd have all laughed at me. However,
無能探偵が言うなら協力します。あなたの言葉なら信頼できますからね。と言って少女は微笑みかけた。
for you, incompetent, I'll lend my cooperation. I have total faith in your words, the girl said, offering a smile.
いい顔になったわね、無能ちゃん。いいわ。お姉さんもあなたに協力してあげる。一緒に八つ咲コウを捕まえましょうね。
I'm liking that look in your eyes, incompetent, so sure, your honorary big sis is here to help. Let's catch that quartering duke together.
実は僕も無能さんと同じ気持ちでした。皆さんの死を無駄にしないためにも、ここはリスクを冒してでも捜査を続けましょう。
As a matter of fact, I agree with you, incompetent. Even if there are risks involved, we need to keep investigating to ensure no one died in vain.
僕は君の選択を信じるよ、無能君。僕の力が必要な時はいつでも頼ってね。
Whatever you decide, I trust you, incompetent. Just call on me when you need my abilities.
まったくリーダーは私だというのに身の程知らずの庶民ですこと。
Need I remind you that I am the chief here? You ragtags and bobtails always forget your place.
まあ良いでしょう。部下の熱意を無理にするなど上司としてあってはなりませんからね。
But very well, it would be inexcusable for a superior to discard an eager subordinate.
リーダーとして私もあなたに協力して差し上げますわ。この島で散っていった皆さんのためにも必ず真相を解き明かしてみせますわよ。
And so, I shall assist you in my capacity as chief. Know that we will uncover the truth for the sake of all who have perished. For those who come after.
皆さん、
Everyone, thank you. I'm still so inexperienced. I can never call myself an ideal detective. Incompetent is a much, much more appropriate word for me. But I'm not alone. I have friends I can trust. We've survived through life and death ordeals together, after all. Even as we go up against the most fearsome serial killer of all time, I'm not afraid, as long as they're with me.
僕たちで覆しましょう。この島で起きたすべての悲劇を。
Alright guys, it's time to reverse every tragedy that's occurred on this island. Just go reverse. They use that term, reverse. We gotta reverse the tragedies. We gotta go back in time, time machine time. With that, we make the decision to revisit every case that's happened up until now. Oh, fun. But not one moment later, we receive an unexpected transmission.
皆さん、探偵同盟本部から連絡が来ました。
Hey everyone, it's a message from DA headquarters.
電波は届かないはずじゃ。
Huh? But I thought we had no signal.
おそらく通信システムを搭載した船でこの島の近くまで来てくれたんです。地上に上がってこられてよかったですね。
There must be a ship equipped with a comm system near the island. Thank goodness we made our way up to the surface.
では早速届いたメッセージを読み上げますね。
I'll open the message up right away. Everyone clustered around Techie, looking at the laptop balanced atop his knees. Displayed on the screen is a brief, blunt order.
八つ咲工事件についてはもう捜査の必要はない。
Suspicious.
救助へ向かうから何もせずに待機せよ。だって。
There's no further need to investigate the Quartering Duke case? Help is on the way, so we're to sit here and do nothing? Perhaps we had yet to see how deeply the malice surrounding the Quartering Duke killing swirls. Workaholic detective is a victim. Culprit, renegade detective presumed. Cause of death, electrocution. Sequence, culprit caused a blackout, resulting in workaholic being shocked when power returned. Notes, renegade died by accident in his haste to flee after workaholic's death triggered his collar. But something's off. He looked happy. He looked happy. Okay. We're not gonna read this part right now, but we are gonna read the words. Oh, we get to read it with the weird music in the background. That's great. How many do we have? 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's get these knocked out here, and then we'll switch over to Unbeatable, I think. And we're in the last chapter, as far as I understand, of this game. And we're gonna review the past cases, maybe? Strange. Okay. Secret police. A certain powerful politician used the opportunity presented by the Deus Knight incident 13 years ago to propose creating this detective organization. The organization's goal was to create powerful, ideal detectives whose capability to deter crimes would rival that of the former Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Unlike the present-day DA, they solved no private civilian cases and had no interest in saving lives. Instead, they forewent ethics to focus on weapon development and human experimentation, going so far as to kidnap and imprison children. Ideal Detective incited those unhappy with this direction, dismantling the organization from within, incorporating its personnel and technology to form the current Detective Alliance. Maestro Detective, the leader of the secret police, wound up banished by Ideal Detective and has not been heard from since. Superhuman experiments. The true purpose of the human experiments conducted by the secret police underground. After a special neurosurgery, the subjects were exposed to lethal danger. This activated regions of the brains far beyond the normal capacity, inspiring new means for survival. It is said that this led them to develop sixth senses, although the veracity of this is dubious. If there had only been a great detective with this sixth sense, tragedies like the Deus Knight incident could have been avoided. Society's future depends upon ideal detectives who prevent these travesties from occurring altogether, rather than responding after the fact. This was a statement made by Maestro Detective, and at the time, employees of secret police could not object. The Deus Knight incident had only recently claimed numerous lives. People undoubtedly harbored much fear over the inscrutable atrocities. Denouement, a power born of the superhuman experiments. By processing visual data that is usually imperceptible, its user is able to theorize future events, sort of pseudo-precognition. There are, however, reports of past events being seen as residual thoughts, among other experiences unable to be explained by scientific means. Research on these phenomena continues to this day. Because it causes an inordinate amount of data to be processed by the brain in a single moment, the ability to place an extreme burden on the mind, and sustained use is not recommended. As Ideal Detective is designated as a Q incident, some know of her unusual talents. The specifics, however, are kept confidential. Maicho Aragi. The architect of Gormenghast Manor, Aragi designed one building after another with eccentric features, complex mechanisms, and unusual facades. His architectural signatures. This won him the staunch support of wealthy magnates, and he proceeded to construct an entire generation. Unfortunately, mysterious incidents began to occur in his buildings, and a complete reversal. His works began to be viewed as haunted, and in time, Aragi vanished. These days, the buildings are sought after by quite a few people who are drawn in by their paranormal appeal. An inexplicable number of them, however, wind up getting involved in some disturbance or another. Collar. Maestro Detective is said to have developed this compact explosive device during his days in the secret police. Its official designation is Weenet, named after the Egyptian goddess who is depicted with the head of a rabbit. As this reference is rather obscure, most simply referred to as a collar. It attaches itself by biting into the skin and is so slim that it can be mistaken for a tattoo at first glance. Its explosive force, however, is highly lethal. Even within the DA, details about how to detonate the collars are limited to a select few individuals. They are primarily used as a means to rein in dangerous or unpredictable targets. The case of the Jujo family treasure. The Ichijo family belongs to the Jujo group, one of the nation's 6 major conglomerates. Ryuga Ichijo, former head of the family, left a will that incited chaos between the remaining family heads. The will stipulated that whoever solved its cipher would receive a massive buried treasure as inheritance. This, of course, gave rise to tensions within the Jujo group to the point where those involved would not even balk at murder. The Rokujo family, which held much power within the group, contracted the DA to solve the riddle quickly, planning to distribute the wealth equally between all families. DA was able to deduce that the cipher was based on literary works beloved by the late Ryugo Ichijo, and thus dispatched Bookworm Detective, who saw the case with flying colors. There was, in fact, an assassin lurking behind the scenes with plans to take out Bookworm. However, Ideal and Mystic were able to foil the scheme in time. Great. I think 2 more? I love reading all this to the backdrop of a fucking music, out of tune, creepy music. The case of building number 1. The elusive, eccentric architect Maicho Aragi is believed to have constructed a number of so-called enchanted manors. One of them, building number 1, became the site of a serial killing case. The case occurred before Senior Detective became a member of the DA. Within the manor, shape of which was inspired by the kanji for 1, Aragi discovered a mysterious space that did not appear on his blueprints. In time, he revealed the presence of a secret resident who had remained hidden within the walls for years. The truth behind the case caused such a stir that it was adapted into a movie and TV show. Senior Detective, an unknown at the time, was suddenly thrust into stardom. Senior found the media limelight distasteful, however, and his public appearances steadily decreased. And finally, the Alice Castle killings. The elusive, eccentric architect Maicho Aragi is believed to have constructed a number of so-called enchanted manors. One of them, Alice Castle, became the site of a homicide. Its whimsical rooms were themed around the books Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, with the lodgers there being murdered one after another through methods that drew from the work's motifs. Senior Detective, who was also a mentor to the victims, arrived on the scene at once. Upon stumbling into one of the culprit's traps, however, it was revealed that he had been the culprit's true target all along. In this manner, teeming with trickery, Senior faced off against his own pupil in a battle of life and death. Because he was unable to protect the lives of his own students, Senior stepped away from the front lines of detective work in the later years of his life. And breath. Okay, so we have one last chapter in this game. So I'm gonna imagine, depending on the size of the streams, obviously, I would say probably 2 or 3. 3 if we go small. 2 if we kind of like... that's assuming the chapter is as big as the other chapters, right? On average? Hard to say. Hard to say. Alright, let's, I want to switch over to Unbeatable for the rest of the night here. So let me actually fade it to black so you don't see what's on my thing. Perfect. Mystery.